platform, to every social media platform that's out there. But just to give you an overview about myself, I used to be a research analyst and a research project director at the largest research company in Hawaii. Currently, I'm an assistant professor of marketing at Fort Hays State, which is in Kansas. It's rural Kansas, so I see farms every day. Okay, I specialize in digital marketing and social media marketing. I teach those 2 classes, and I'm certified in Hootsuite, which I'm going to introduce to you a little later. HubSpot, which is a great tool to use, and I authored a book on social media marketing. This one is specifically on the consumer-generated content, like reviews and stuff like that. So that's me.
Great.
So what I'm going to cover today is the why, what, where, how, and when to build a personal brand, and then to give you an overview of what social media usage is like in general, the type of content people want to post to brand themselves, the best time to post. We don't just post every time, any day, whenever we like. There's actually tips to when you should post to get more impressions. And then how to manage multiple accounts. So I think some of us, at least I know, I have a lot of social media platform accounts. So I have Facebook, I have Instagram, I have LinkedIn. So you kind of overwhelming sometimes. So you want to know how to manage those accounts. And then I'm going to just introduce to you what tools you can use to track and analyze your effort on social media.
Great.
So what's personal branding? This is a big trend right now, and in our school we also have students brand themselves, not specifically through social media, but just branding themselves in general. So Kevin Lee, he's the director of marketing at Buffer. Buffer is a company that deals with social media tools. And it's for scheduling of posting and stuff like that. We'll talk about it a little later. But he's the director of that company. And so he defines it as personal branding is the process of managing and optimizing the way you are presented to others. So you're a brand. I'm a brand. We are all brands, whether we like it or not. So, sometimes you just go out there, you try to get a job. People just see you, not just on your resume itself. We are not just a piece of paper anymore. They will go out on the social media and search for you. And so one thing I always tell my students, don't post. I know you might have a great figure, you might look good in bikini and stuff, but don't post that online, Yeah, so why do we need personal branding? And the first thing you should do is go ahead and Google your name. I think you guys did for a lot of professors, like, oh, do I want to take this person? And then you start Googling them. Yeah, do the same thing to yourself. Google your name in different form. Maybe you have a middle initial or the last name come first and first name come first. Those are good way to have a start on where you stand in the social media platform. So, sometimes people tag you into certain things and you didn't know that. But when you Google yourself, and in fact, Googling yourself, that's a keyword for you because your name is an SEO, which is search engine optimization, which whenever you put a keyword in, you want people to look at you first. If you put in your name, you want people to be able to find you. So the benefits of personal branding is you get a better job inside or outside the current company. If you know how to position yourself in a company, or you're trying to change a job or find a job, if you're out there, for example, because I specialize in consumer-generated content, so when you write blog posts or stuff like that, you contribute to the community, not just to a specific community, but just in general, and people know that, oh, these people know something about their field. They are credible, that's how you start. And then you have better contacts, have better clients for yourself, and you gain that recognition in the industry itself. And so when I always tell my student is that when you do personal branding, start off with your professors. They are great resources. You don't know who they are connected with, and I'm pretty sure they are connected with, known people. And with that one connection, it can lead you to endless opportunity. Okay, so where to brand yourself? This really depends on your area of expertise. So if you guys are visual, like the design sites, then you might want to look into design-based or visual-based type of social media. Facebook is still great. It is one of the fastest growing social media platform that's out there. There's LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I would recommend you to have it because that's a professional network. Pinterest, Instagram are great too. Twitter, though, however, is good to get news, but you want to be certain that you can commit a lot of tweets because Twitter actually amongst those has to have the most tweets to gain more followers. And one thing is your blog can be on your website itself or your website can be your blog itself. You always have to have that. That's like, your home. It's like the hub where everybody can find you, like an overall view of you. And have some images. Based on research, it shows that when you have images, it really improves people's, sometimes people visualize things that are not correct. So if you have an image of you, a professional photo, that's great. So just to give you an overview of, the social media platforms that are out there, you can see Facebook has the most user, followed by Twitter and then Pinterest. And so this actually fluctuates. Currently, Facebook is still the fastest growing, followed by, I think, Instagram is the next one. So Instagram and Twitter actually has a lot of followers. And then you have Google+, you have YouTube. YouTube is good when you want to do how-to videos. And so you can look over on the second column, which says purpose and best for, and then downside of it. So if you want to build some sort of a relationship, then yeah, go for Facebook. If you want to just, and then go for Instagram. But if you just want to have some sort of conversation, receive some sort of information, go for Twitter. So there's different purpose for different social media. So you don't want to just open an account for everything and not being able to manage everything, because not managing is just as good as not having that account. Okay. So how to start? The very first thing I always say that define your objective. Just treat yourself as a brand. Even though it kind of sounds weird to say that I'm a brand. One thing you want to know is, what do you hope to achieve when people search for your name? What do you want them to see? If you want people to see your work and experience and, receive new opportunities in your area of expertise, then develop some sort of a portfolio for yourself. So LinkedIn profile is good, right? Because that everybody knows. And actually, more than 70%, I think there was an article on that, of employers actually look for talent, and they call talent acquisition, look for the so-called the well-qualified people in the field through LinkedIn. So a lot of people actually got jobs through LinkedIn. Another thing is that if you want to promote your content to a wider audience, then try increasing your Twitter followers. Sometimes you would have a Twitter account, and then you just track how many followers you have, and then sometimes you post certain things, suddenly people start following you, and that increases your reach, and that's what you want. Okay. One thing though I want to note that is just based on experience. If your Twitter account is open, is public, which is supposed to be public, if you want to gain more followers, then you want to make sure that the people following you are people that you want to follow you. You want them to follow you, because sometimes people just follow you for the sake of following you, and the things that they post on their Twitter account is not really something that you want us to be associated with. So you just want to check on that. Okay, and then the second point is identify up to 3 areas of expertise. So what do you want to be known for? Do you want to be known for creating very unique design, or do you want to be known for bubbly type of, what do you want to be known for? So at least name up to 3 areas. And then who do you want to connect with? So the internet, we know, is flooded with entrepreneurs and experts, and so you want to make sure that you are unique. You want to be unique enough that it sets you apart from every other people that are out there. So in your class, you might have everybody having the same skill, but there's something about you that's unique that none other people have it. So you want to promote that, And also when you write some sort of a description on social media, say for example, you're out there to brand yourself, then the words that you use, make sure that it's a description that includes keywords. Remember, I mentioned that SEO, search engine optimization. Not only your name is a very vital thing for employers to look for when they want to look you up. You also want to be associated with like hashtag visual designs or something like that. Like you want to be associated with certain keywords with your expertise. Okay, make a list of profile links. So this one, if you need to do a little bit of homework, what you have to do is store links up of all your social media profiles. So you could have an Excel spreadsheet, and then you could have LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, and then you just make sure that you make that as a schedule. But I'm going to show you a platform that is even greater than that. So you can list out all your account for your social media platforms, and then you say, okay, what's your goal? So how many followers you have now, how many friends you have now on Facebook, and then you want to have an action there. So what do you want to post on there? What do you want to share on there, right? So you have an Excel spreadsheet there. Another thing, the fourth point here is to develop a strong position. What that means is just to sum up who you really are. So typically positioning statements are created for brands or products, which we are brands. So in this case, you'll be developing one for yourself. So when you create the brand statement or you're creating a positioning statement, then you always want to keep in mind your audience. Who are you trying to attract? Who are you trying to appeal to? Say that, hey, I'm good at what I'm doing. Look at my work, look at my profile. So you want to write in a language where your audience understand what you're talking about. Also in there, you want to have a differentiating thing that, again, I mentioned earlier. You want to differentiate yourself with other people. You want to be unique. And nowadays, everybody want to find somebody that is strong in certain things, but maybe have a flair in something like an icing on the cake. So you want to have that something there. What I think a lot of people say the X factor or whatever they call it. Okay. Also, other than developing that strong positioning statement, you need to do your homework. I'm pretty sure everybody knows who is a known person or known expert in your field. So visual design, who is the expert there? If you know that person, take note of their tactics, presentation ideas, and then kind of not mimic them, but kind of follow where they are going with it. You want to have a strong so-called mentor, or even if your professors, if you like the way they are doing, if you think they are successful, follow the way they are doing things. Okay, and then you have number 5. Okay, number 5 Yeah. So one thing you want to know is, okay, for consistent look and feel on the platform, what that means is that if you have a color, say orange is your color, you want to have orange in every page of your website, or at least use the same color or design or font size, font type to be consistent throughout the web page. If you're using web page, if you're using a blog post, then in your blog post have that consistency there, because that actually tells people who you really are, and that creates credibility. You're not all over the place. You want to be consistent. Okay. Again, and then number 6, they say reserve your name everywhere. So there's this tool called Noam. If you were to Google it, it's a
Can you say that again?
Noam.
No. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a website that you can Google. So if you put in your name, it will tell you that where you can find the information from. So for example, if I already bought my own domain name for my website, then they would say, oh, this is not available. If you put in like Coca-Cola or whatever, then they say, okay, this domain name is not available, and then, or where you can find this domain name from, or where you can find this information from. So it actually, when you type in your name, you can know which social media platform already has your name on there. Because especially if you have a common name, then you want to make sure that you grab that name, or put like a middle initial or something like that to make it different. Okay, next one. So next, now that you know what you're supposed to do, you have to do the work. So the work here is that we share 1 to 2 times. So the rule of thumb here is that if you have a Facebook account, post twice a day. Twice a day. If you have a Twitter account, post 5 times a day. If you have a LinkedIn, post 1 time a day. So in LinkedIn, you must be thinking, what do I post? So some people write a blog post, or somebody share a post and like an article, a professional article about maybe job seeking tips or something like that. You post that. Google Plus, if you have a Google Plus account, you will post twice a day. Pinterest is 5 times a day, and Instagram is 1.5 times a day. So, depending, like I mentioned earlier, Twitter actually demands a lot of work because, you can get flooded in those tweets in just 1 second. So you want to make sure that your followers get your content that you want to share, as well as you are following what your so-called idol or the people that you look up to are tweeting. So you can keep yourself up to date.
Amy, I've got a quick question for you on this topic. Yeah. I think a lot of students, and maybe even any user in general, might feel a little afraid you're posting too much. Like, is it too much information out there? What do you say to that as far as, because I totally agree with you, and everything I've seen says to do these numbers. So how do you do it in a way where you don't feel like you're bombarding people?
One way to do it is the content itself has to be valuable. Okay. You don't post something just because you need to post something. That content itself, if it's really valuable and, if people like it, you posting more of it, people actually appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I did is I'm into emojis research. So I was looking up articles, literature review about, what is the research on emojis right now? So everybody loves to use smiley faces and, thumbs up and whatnot. So when I post those kind of, or share those kind of articles, I just shared like 3 articles, and I thought, am I posting too much? Actually, I get more followers like that.
Really?
People are, they love that article, they press that heart shape, they retweet my article and stuff like that. So it's like, sometimes the content really matters. If that content is like not old, but it's like, I know about that already, then you keep posting the same thing, you will lose followers.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then so engage yourself with communities. So in LinkedIn, Google Plus, Facebook, they have a separate community itself. I would encourage you to join those communities because they sometimes have a forum where you can share information. You can talk to people of the same field with you. And, you never know. They might offer you a job there if they think that you're the right person that you want to hire. So always engage, in communicating with other people in that same community. Surround yourself with top-notch people. And there's this tool called Just Unfollow. It's pretty neat. It's now called, I think, Crowdfire. Crowd as in like crowded, the Crowdfire. And it actually, you can link with Twitter and Instagram. So I tried it with Twitter. What happens is that when you log into Twitter, so you go to Just Unfollow. It's an app as well on the smartphone. You go to Just Unfollow and then you log in through your Twitter account. It tells you that how many new followers you have, how many followers you lost, how many people you put on so-called blacklist, how many people you put on whitelist. And so there's a lot of things going on there. So it actually tells you what happened when. And so that kind of gives you a very good idea, which I'm going to talk about analytics side, is that, when I post something, did it increase my followers or did it reduce my followers? Mm-hmm. So if it does reduce your followers, then you don't want to tweet that again. You don't want to tweet that type of information again. And one thing I want to tell a lot of my students is that when you share a content, the algorithm of Facebook, say for example, they don't pick up certain things. Say for example, I watched a video on cats and the kittens, and it's like, oh, so cute, you empathize with them, and the emotional part of it is what attracted you to watch that video. But Facebook doesn't catch that algorithm. They would think that, this person likes cats or this person likes kittens, so they keep posting tweets or posting information about things that you like about, which is kitten, not about the emotional part. So that's something that Facebook or like other social media platform couldn't catch. Mm-hmm. So you want to make sure that what you post is something that relates to your audience. Okay.
Great.
And also another tool called mentions. just like the name mentioned. So in mention you, sorry, not a tool, excuse me. This mention is actually in Twitter. So if you would have a Twitter account, if somebody mentions you, so they say add somebody, right? Or if they say add Moriuchi, then they talk about me. So I have to respond within 24 hours. The thing with social media is people have that instant gratification. So you want to make sure that you give them back that instant gratification. That kind of is how the social media world works right now. Not like I send an email, you can wait for like a day or so. Now they want to make sure that you respond. And in fact, if you do respond quickly, people like that, and then you will gain more followers. Okay, so tips to grow your personal brand without sacrificing your free time. I know we are all busy people, but this is a routine, like a ritual, schedule a social media post for 15 minutes. That's why I want to point out there that don't pick all the social media platform. You might be overwhelmed and you go, I can't do this anymore, So you just want to pick and choose which type of social media actually suits you the best in terms of branding yourself. So you want to schedule social media posts 15 minutes each morning, which I'm going to show you an awesome tool which you can do it to schedule your post in advance. Another is to write blog. Now in the digital marketing world, at least, and in social media, everybody uses blog. Why? Because blog is where you can put the links inside, the external and internal links, and that is actually how people search you. That's the SEO in there, the whole blog itself. That's the words that are in there. You want to put keywords in your blogs, and then when you search, you Google search something, often a blog post will come up. Okay, and then also take time to keep up with your latest trends. So what's happening in visual design? Is there a new software out there? Is it people focusing on this area, like more on cute type of design or whatever? I don't want to say too much about design because I don't have ideas about design, but yeah. So you want to make sure that you keep up with the latest trend. That's why on Twitter or like in other social media platforms, you want to follow people that are in your field that you admire, that you look up for, that you want to be that person one day. Okay. Okay. So if somebody were to even if somebody don't invite you to write anything, you can say, can I write something? Can I write something on your post? Or be a freelancer or something like that, or if even best, if somebody invites you to write a guest post or something, or like a guest, like showcase your design, do it, and then say yes to events. Don't be shy. I know a lot of us just prefer just to go behind the phone and do this. Don't do that. Yeah, say yes to events. You never know how powerful networking is. Just like see how I met Dave and how I met Nick here. It's through networking, from this person to this person and that person. That's how you expand your whole horizon. And, just don't be shy. It takes time to not be shy, but don't be shy. Anyone can do it. Okay, so just to give you an overview of which are the popular social networks here, and we all can see Facebook is the most popular. So when we talk about social network, it's not only social media platform itself, like the big companies such as Facebook or Instagram. It's also app itself. WhatsApp itself is a mobile app. For those who are not familiar with, you can actually text, call, video call. It's all. If you don't have Wi-Fi, it takes off your data plan, but that's a great app. And people do post stuff on there. Then you have and also there's actually a web-based WhatsApp, so you can actually share a link. If you're on your computer, you want to share a link, you can share a link through your computer off the WhatsApp, and it appears on your phone as well. So that's pretty neat. Another thing is the Facebook Messenger. I think a lot of you know that QQ is actually from China, WeChat is from China, and Tumblr, and then so on and so forth. The fastest growing social network is, you can see here, is again Facebook. Twitter is actually declining, and so we actually read up an article not read up an article, read an article and then wanted to write something about Twitter is that we did like a simple research and asked, why are the millennials, especially because millennials now take over the consumer market, take over the baby boomer market. Baby boomer used to be the biggest population, now it's the millennials. So a lot of attention is focused on millennials right now. And so they were thinking, why are millennials leaving Twitter? And so we did a little like a focus group and found out that they say, we're being bombarded with all these tweets and we are flooded in those tweets. And I just go there to get news. I don't engage with anybody. I just get my news from there. So that's the reason why they are leaving like Twitter or not as engaging or engaged on Twitter. But another thing is that even though Facebook is growing, it's pretty funny that some of the students say they don't want to be associated with Facebook because nowadays, or rather the demographics for Facebook is majority the older generation, the Gen X and the baby boomer, and then so the millennials say, I don't want to be the old people, so they also want to leave Facebook. And now the new thing is Snapchat. Okay, so on different social network sites, just information for you, there's 80% female on Pinterest. So actually female really likes Pinterest and they share a lot of stuff on Pinterest. So I think it's a very good way to promote yourself, especially if you want to use visual like designs and stuff. Pinterest is great. Facebook is great too, because a lot of people use their mobile phones, the app, and they constantly are checking their Facebook account. Instagram is good because it is for pictures and videos. So yeah, this is just an overview of, and also one thing, when you do post on like social media, remember to use hashtags and then check out all the hashtags of what is the most popular hashtag. So when people look up that particular hashtag, they can find you because you use that similar hashtag. Okay, here we can see that the most engaging is still Facebook, but Snapchat is actually going up the ranks here. It actually goes with ages. So this one is 18 to 34. People still, I think it's just a familiarity and it's been there a while, Facebook. And companies have been using Facebook a lot recently because in marketing, we have e-commerce, right? And then we have social networking, like you engage and then you buy stuff or you sell stuff. And then now they blend those two together called social commerce. So Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest, they actually have a social commerce. So you can actually buy things on the social networking site itself. So things that you like cookies. So when you shop for certain things, say I shop for a sweater, the internet captures my cookies and then it would show up on the promoted ad in Facebook, and you actually can buy it from there. So some people say that, it's a violation of my privacy. I'm just there to engage. Why are you doing that to me? So it really is dependent on your preference, but social media is catching on to the social commerce side to grow your business.
I think Instagram just mentioned they're looking into actually being able to buy now throughout the same way. Yeah. I think Pinterest, they call it buy pins. Yeah, and Amazon is actually an e-commerce site, but they want to be so-called social. Mm-hmm. What they did is, I actually wrote an article on that. What they did is they created a social commerce site called Shopify. Mm-hmm. And so people start buying from there, but the buying experience is different because you have some sort of an interaction going on. Got it. Yeah. So going to the next one here is most interaction. So we can see actually Instagram has the most interaction. Wow. So I did notice that too. A lot of people, because they improve the capability of the social media, the social networking site itself, they introduce a boomerang or, make things fun on there. You can post videos. It used not to be able to post videos, but you can now. And so those things kind of make people want to, and people are more visual right now. So they do prefer, when it's less text, more pictures.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Emmy, this is Dave. So that what you said, the visual. So a lot of the students are in here are obviously studying design, right? And so there's a huge market for designers, visual artists, right? In the next several years in the social media market arena, as well as traditional media, right? So,
Oh, was that a question? Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, do you kind of agree with that, or do you want to elaborate on that a little bit? Because I think that's an important point that you just made about that a lot of people are into more of a visual rather than stories that they have to read, right? So what does that space look like as our students are learning about social media engagement, right? Internet marketing, right? And how do they use their tools they learn by being able to create stuff, right?
Right. I think you guys in the visual design side has a very, very good advantage. You can actually use visuals to promote yourself. So like Nike is just a tape, but that means something. That's just a visual tape, but people relate to that so-called tape. And so if you know how to use that certain the social media sites, then you know how to promote yourself better. Nowadays, people have a very short attention span, which I'm going to introduce to you what type of content you should post. And nowadays people have like I said, short memory span and short attention span. So when the picture itself can capture everything, that's why it's more effective. And if you have really, really long text, people will just read halfway and then just give up. So I think if you are, and then especially with social media sites like Instagram and like Pinterest, those platforms are really good. And then a lot of other social media platforms, they're actually allowing more capability within that social media platform to improve the quality of the pictures that you post up there. So I think, as a visual person, you have an advantage there.
I find it interesting, too, that you mentioned the engagement of Instagram is so much higher than those other ones, and yet that's still primarily a mobile platform. Not many people really use it technically on their computer. So do you think there's any connection there that it's because it's on the go and, like you said, less text, more visual?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's one of the reasons. And then I think a lot of people, they are on Instagram. It's more engaging. Because one thing, is on the phone. And if you were to notice, all the posts that they make is something that they do it right there and then. And then they just snap it and then they just upload it. Well, Facebook, on the other hand, is like, okay, I want to share something, but I don't know what I want to share. Oh, maybe I should share this. So they pull something out from their computer and they share. Yeah.
True.
So I think, so nowadays, like, I think even if you can do something on the go, which everybody, I think they feel naked without their phone sometimes. Yep. So that's why I think Instagram is really doing a great job and it's really growing right now.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Okay, most engaged on the app itself. So Facebook is still engaging, followed by the Messenger. You have to download a separate app. I think a lot of you are familiar with the Facebook Messenger app, so you can like just text people who are on your social media network. And then Instagram, Twitter, and then Google Plus. Google Plus is still growing, but it's not as popular. But Google Plus is good if you want to join communities. There are different communities that are out there. So I join like communities that talks about content marketing and stuff like that, and we share ideas and we talk to each other. So it's pretty educational. Okay, now you must be thinking, well, I have a lot of design to share, or I have a lot of content to share, but what types of content get shared? When I say get shared, is people retweeting it, or people click that share buttons, or they like it or whatnot. So you posting something, if it doesn't reach to anybody, it doesn't have an effect, and so you want people to share the content. So there are different content types. There's how-to content. How-to content, or like it says here, it posts introduce a problem and then offer a solution, and you discuss the different steps there. Normally this people do like YouTube video. They teach you how to maybe clean the stove, and then they give you a solution to that, and then how they do it and do the whole video. List often happens in like a blog post and focus on a particular topic. What posts would be articles similar to, not similar to lists, but then it's similar to a blog post whereby you provide the information on a particular topic. Why post is you giving a reason, why people should be looking at that information. So sometimes you see a header that says, why do millennials prefer Snapchat over something? So those kind of things that provoking, like want people to read those articles. Videos, as we mentioned, is dynamic visual. So now they have this thing called cinematographic. So it's like a still, I guess you are familiar with it, a still photo, and then you have some sort of little movement in there. And so, people are trying to get more and more innovative within the visual side of it. Infographics is great in marketing right now. It's really popular. There's a lot of there's a lot of software out there. The company actually provides like free tools for you to create a visual image. It's a chart, and it actually, just now when I show you the different social media platforms, that's actually an infographic. So here it actually tells you which type of content gets shared the most. The why, you kind of answer people's question, the list, and infographics actually the most, and it all ties back to visuals. Right. And why is that so? Because people's attention span, it's short. So here, this is an example of an infographics. It just gives you some statistical information about, Twitter posts, what is the mainstream media, and then what is the number of posts and so on. It's just a visual of an infographic. Okay, so what can infographics do for you? So I think one thing it can do easily is that it catches audience attention because it's visual. It has colors, right? You don't want to have a black and white infographics. That's not how you're going to promote the benefits of an infographic. Another thing is it increases your brand awareness, and then you can make your content go viral. Again, it simplifies complicated information and then into this little, it can be just a chronological order, the timeline of history, and you add some pictures in there, or images in there. It makes things like a snapshot. It makes reading really easy. And so if people get the information, people feel that the information is useful, they will follow you. If you are able to make the content in a layman's term and not in a term that only people in your area understand, then people would likely say, I understand so much from what this person is writing about. I want to get more, so I'm going to subscribe, I'm going to follow, right? And it's portable, easily embedded, so you can actually copy and paste, or it actually has an HTML code that you can post it in your blog post if you want to. And then the best part, you can track with analytics. So if you were to create a infographic, you can actually track it to see which type of content that you post as an infographic is effective. And it positions you as an expert as well, especially if you guys are designers, visual designers, then, the more visual aids, the images you have in there, it really, really shows that you know what you're doing. Okay, then you must be thinking, okay, now I know what to post, I know how to post it, when should I post it? So there's a lot of information out there, and some may agree to certain extent, but this is in general. So if you want to do a list post, it's best to post it in June, September, October, especially if it's something related to travel and entertainment. The why post would do well in September and November. The videos, similar, September, November, and October. And then the how post is August and November, and then you have what post. Now, why I'm showing you this is because timing and the relevancy is key. If at that time people are traveling or there's a huge news or big news on entertainment, and then you post that information, everybody will be interested in reading it. So if you're able to capture the time and the relevancy, that piece of information will go viral. Okay, so regardless of what type of content, each content has to be interactive. So like I mentioned earlier, if you have some sort of image, like even if you want to tell a story right now, this is a big thing in marketing. You need to have a story. You having an image itself is insufficient. Sometimes you have to accompany it with a little story on the bottom, so it gives people some idea and frame the whole picture of what you're trying to say. So, videos are interactive too. And so the one thing that video, like YouTubers, they make it interactive is they have the comments on the bottom that you can interact with the YouTuber, him or herself. And then with images, it's always better. Even now, Twitter, when people tweet, they always tweet with images. And so you can see how many likes and how many clicks. You get more likes, clicks, and retweets when you have images. Now, this is why we kind of mentioned, I kind of answered that earlier. So this is just an example of medicine. When you have images, people understand it more than just the text alone. So I mentioned earlier, you want an image, but you want to have a short, like a small paragraph of your story. So you have text and picture. It works better than just the text alone. And actually, it works also better with just pictures alone if you have some sort of a story. Because, image or like picture, sometimes it gives a different perception. People interpret it differently. So you want to make sure that you get your message across. Okay, so here. So strong positive emotion. So if you have a post that your design has some sort of an emotional value that is very positive, it will attract people to share that type of post. So this is an example. It inspires people to post stuff. So I was just talking to my class the other day. I said, do you know why certain I don't want to go into politics, but it's just an example why certain politicians don't do well, because they keep repeatedly show negative emotions and bashing the other opponent or candidate on TV with those commercials. Yes, it's all visual, but it's all negative sentiment, and people don't like that. And so they think they are like outshadowing somebody else, but in fact they are not. So that's why the politicians who put up more positive news or positive like insights to it have more followers or gain trust and interest by the public. And also newsworthy content is really, really important, and it really depends by the industry. So news, obviously, if newsworthy, the news industry would see more relevant than any other industry. And you can see entertainment and then education. And now you must be thinking, oh my goodness, I have so many accounts. How do I manage those? Don't worry, we have a solution. Okay, so there are several types of accounts. You might want to write this down if you can remember this. There's Hootsuite, Everpost, Buffer, Social Oomph, and Sprout Social. Sprout Social is a free trial, but you have to pay for it if you go past the free trial. What I use for my own account, I use Hootsuite, and it's pretty user friendly. What you do is you pull in all the different accounts. So you have LinkedIn, you have Facebook, you have Twitter, everything on there. And this is how it looks like. So this one is just Twitter itself. What you can do is you put your news feed. You can separate them into different columns as well. And you see on the very top there's different tabs. So it's like different social media platforms as well. So different tabs for different social media platforms. And within that each tab, you can split them into, I send the tweets, or like I got mentioned. This is my feed and whatnot. So this is free. This is a great tool, and I use that often. And actually, I have my students, actually my colleague is teaching one of the social media class. She has them certified in Hootsuite, which means that they know how to use the platform itself. So it's a very good tool. And when is the best time to post the content? I kind of mentioned earlier, but I'm just going to repeat on this one. More detail here is the timing of it. So if you want to post things on Twitter, there's 3 different sources here. So Huffington Post say 5 p.m., 12, 6 p.m. And then HubSpot, which is a marketing company that deals with digital inbound marketing. They are really, really popular in inbound marketing. It deals with social media marketing as well. They say, if you want to tweet something and you want to get people to look at your tweet or read your tweet it between like 12 to 3 p.m. Monday to Friday or 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Kissmetrics, which is the last one there, is a marketing company that helps deal with data. So they deal with a lot of analysis of the data. For them, they say weekdays at 5 p.m. It is where the most retweets happen. So this is just a timeline of if you want to tweet something and you want to really expose your Twitter follower, or you want to gain more followers or gain more impression, this is when you should do it.
So your time zone?
No, this is actually EST.
Oh, okay, EST. Okay.
Yeah. No. I take that back. This is actually the time for each state itself. So the reason why they put it that way, like 5 p.m., 12 p.m., 6 p.m., is people get off work, people having lunch, or people having dinner. So those are the time where people have the most frequency to look at their phone. And we know how the cell phone, the smartphone is right now. Is everything is on the smartphone, so everybody tends to tweet something on their phone itself. So this is the timeline where they give, they see the most effective outcome from this different time frame.
Got it.
Okay. And then if you want to post something on Facebook, QuickSprout, which is another company that deals with social media, they talk about 1 p.m. So Optimizely is a company that is deals with experiments. So if you have a website and you want them to help you experiment that website, saying that, I have version A and version B, can you test it out and see which one people like more? They are the company to go with. And they talk about Mondays to Thursdays, 6 to 8 p.m. Microsoft says 1 to 3, and then HubSpot is 1 to 3. So in general, the consistency here is Thursdays and Fridays between 1 to 3 p.m. is the best time to post on Facebook if you want to get more viewership or more impression. And then we have Instagram, which is the last one I'm going to talk about for the best time to post on. HubSpot says that Monday to Thursday, except from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. And then later is actually a pretty interesting tool. They actually changed their name. It was formerly known as Latergram. And then so what it does is it does scheduling and managing of Instagram. So just now, I introduced you the Hootsuite. They actually do that too, but for later, they only do it for Instagram. So you can actually schedule posts on there, and so sometimes you have a not Twitter feed, but sometimes you have news feed in your social media. You can actually go to Hootsuite if you have different social media platforms, or you can go to later for Instagram to schedule your post. Say, I want this scheduled at this time, and actually Hootsuite, they tell you when is the best time to post, to schedule those posts. So it's pretty convenient. And but what I want to say is, as a social media marketer, I don't encourage people to just retweet something generic, but to create something of your own, because people know that if that's not your own, you just tweet it just because or post it just because, then they will not follow you. And then we have social media analytics tools, which is awesome. You can track what post is the most effective, who are your followers, what most engaged with you and whatnot. So these are my choices. Hootsuite, Google Analytics is really good if you have a website, like a blog. If your website is a blog post, then you use Google Analytics, and if you go Google Analytics, you just Google Analytics. It actually teaches you how to embed the code into your website so that you can track it on the dashboard in Google Analytics. Hootsuite is very good for all the different platforms. So it actually shows you, which I'm going to show you in the next slide, how it looks like. Scythe is okay. I used it. But you really, if you want the free version, it's kind of limited of how many accounts you can have on the dashboard itself. Cloud is good because it tells you, it also can include many different social media platforms, and it shows you your Cloud score. So if you have a high Cloud score, that means that you have been engaging a lot of people, and the higher the Cloud score, the better you are, because that means that you are out there and people are you're gaining a lot of attention. Buffer is another one that people use a lot, just like later. It's for Instagram Buffer. You can use it for Twitter or anything else. So a majority of the time, people use Buffer for Twitter only. So they schedule the tweets like, okay, I want to tweet this, but I want to tweet this at 3 p.m. I'm 11 a.m. right now, but I want to tweet this at 3 p.m. So you just like checkbox it and then have it tweet during that time, what day, what time. There are a lot out here. You can see a whole list, but I've tried Iconosquare, but my favorite one is Hootsuite and Google Analytics. So this is how the Hootsuite Analytics look like. You can actually look at you see the number of users, like say this is for Facebook Insights. One thing about Facebook itself has analytics, but you have to gain at least 30 likes before you can look at the insights itself of how the engagement is like in there. So here is just an example for embedding Facebook into Hootsuite Analytics. This is a dashboard, how it looks like. You can tell you how many likes you have based on that post, and you can look at the chronological order, when was the peak, and you can actually look at that time, what did I post at that time that attracted so much attention, right? And then you can actually look at the demographics as well. This is actually the paid version. You pay a little bit extra, and then you can get all these fancy looking images. So this is the paid version, but it's also on Hootsuite as well. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it. That's me.
Thank you very much. Anybody want to start with some questions? Anything? And if you do, just kind of come up a little closer so she can hear through the mic here.
I have a question. It was just earlier on the thing that she said about Instagram, 1.5 posts.
Oh, yeah.
What did she mean by that?
Two. She means, go for two. Go for it. Your question.
Oh, okay, yeah. So as an individual trying to market themselves, like as a designer, say, like, would you recommend having like a separate social media account for just like your design, or is it better to like embody that brand and sort of like show who you are like as a designer and as a personal side?
That's a very good question. So if you were to use Facebook, I would create a separate page and just to use that same account, but then have a fan page itself, and then you create a separate page to promote that product itself. But so my question would be, do you want people to know who you are with the brand, or just your brand itself, as in the product that you do produce? That's like the main question. If you want to connect that personality with that brand, then go for it. Promote yourself. Say, hey, it's me. This is what I have, and people can relate that to you because you are the brand itself. But if you just want to show the image itself, then you can do that too. But I personally feel that if the person that's promoting that, people can put a face to the brand, they will like it better.
Thank you. Makes sense.
I have a question. Hey, Emmy, it's Joe.
Hey,
so you might have mentioned it, but you said time of year for all those posts. But do you have any analytics or statistics as far as time of day? Like what is the best time to release those posts?
So let me go back here.
There's like clear.
Sorry.
Sorry, I must have not been paying attention.
So the time for Twitter would be like around.
Let me take a picture of this.
We got this recorded.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
We got it.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Anyone else?
So, Emmy, got a question for Emmy. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, hi, Emmy. Howard Schneider here.
Hi.
So, my question on the timing aspect. I mean, that's really kind of considering if I want to target maybe companies on the East Coast, sort of be aware of that the time frames you're listing over there as per who you're wanting to talk to, or talk to you. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's
so
relevant.
if your target audience is in the East Coast or in the West Coast, then you want to make sure that that time frame, because the studies show that the reason why it's being stated as such is either they are taking their lunch break or they are going home or they have nothing else better to do during those times. And it's weird. People play on their phone in the bathroom. And so, yeah, that's really, yeah, I guess people do that, but that's not a bad thing. I don't want to say it's a bad thing, but yeah, it happens. So, people, based on those studies, they find that those timing are when people are constantly on their phone, and that's when you can get their attention. So, that's true. Depending on the time zone, especially in the United States, there's so many different time zones. You want to make sure that that time zone, say for example, if I'm in Central Standard Time, it's almost 1 p.m. here, then I have to post the 1 p.m. at your time, which is my 3 p.m. So that's why the the Hootsuite, and then later, and then Buffer, they actually can allow you to schedule the post during that time that you want to post.
So if you're
you don't have to keep constantly looking at your phone. Oh my God, I have to post it now.
Yeah, my concern is like if you're targeting a global audience, when do you sleep?
Hootsuite. Schedule it, man. Let it do it. That's true.
Yeah. So I guess you can just make use of all the free. There's so many free software out there, especially each social media site. They are actually trying to improve what they can offer, and so with so many social media platforms that are out there, they are trying to compete with each other because they want to have more audience. And so they provide convenience tools like scheduling, and so you can't sleep. So you have to schedule it in advance.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, Paula. Yeah, a question.
Hi, I'm Paula. Hi, I came a little late. I have a question. I don't know if you mentioned Facebook has this new tool called Live, which people go live, and they use that to build up on the top of the news feed. And I'm wondering if you could touch on that, because I know a little bit about it, but I don't know how much it's effective and how can we use it?
I think it's really effective, but the only thing with Live is that if you are a YouTuber, you want to tell your audience in advance that you'll be live during when. Because if you're live at a certain time where your audience don't know that you're live, then it doesn't work that way. So I did see other YouTubers. I post things on YouTube too for my club. So what I noticed is that the YouTubers would tell their followers in advance, say, okay, I'm going to be live this time. Please log in. Please chat with me, and so on and so forth. But if you want to say the effectiveness, I think it's effective if you can get the audience there at the right time, at the right moment. Because, again, visuals are great, and people like interaction. And if you can interact with people that you like and you look up to, I think it's better than just text and videos.
Yeah, because to my understanding, Facebook does all this back-end kind of thing to try to promote your live that's actually happening. So they also encourage you, if you are going live, to stay there for a while, and they're going to help you build your audience. So, and then the audience can become more interactive if someone is available to make comments about that. But so I was wondering about that. So, thank you.
That's a good question.
Cool. Anybody else? I had a question on Medium. Any info or insight on that platform, as I've been seeing it kind of pop up a lot more, much more blog story based?
Yeah, so now, at least in the marketing field, blogs are very popular. One is because search engine can, SEO, search engine can pick up all the keywords.
Yeah.
And then in blog posts, you can add videos, you can add call to actions, which, download my video or watch my video or contact me, those call to actions buttons, and then you can include images as well. So, and one thing that I always tell my students is that you always have to have a story. People love story. They don't want to just hear boring things and then all information, but if you can have a hint of this happened and this is what's going on, and and then put your personal spill in it, I think it's very effective. So blogs are actually very effective, and a lot of companies right now, they're trying to integrate the blog post in their website as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
Anybody else? All covered? Pretty good?
Well, I have one question.
Yeah.
Would you consider email marketing or email blast to be part of this at all, or is that do you view that as something different?
It's something different. So it really depends on what you are trying to promote. Email, it's good if you have an established contact list. And we were having that discussion the other day in class, and I told my students, email is not dead. Whenever you sign up for something, you always have to have an email. And so the discussion was, is it, when I get a junk mail in the post and I get a junk mail in the email, which is more effective? I was like, good question. Which one do you see first? Sometimes you see a junk, like a advertisement in the mailbox, you just dump it away. Sometimes you see it in the mailbox, you will just delete it. But which one has more so-called the attention span there? Like you look at it, which one is more? So, but that's another topic. But if you want to talk about email, I think it's best if you have a contact list where you can send, you already establish yourself. People know you, and then you have that contact list. So that's why you can start off with a website, a blog post, and then you have, like, if you're interested in knowing more, contact me. And then that's where they put in their information, and you slowly collect all their information, and you establish that list of contacts you have, and that's when the next step you can do email. But if you want to just, be open, be out there to, know people that you don't know, then use social media.
Cool. Any big predictions for 2015? Wow, I'm dating. 2017, thank you. In social media, anything you see coming on the horizon?
I think in social media, what they're trying to do now is to make it more and more not innovative, but interactive. And social commerce is one thing that is really gaining attention right now. But there's some pushbacks because people feel that it's some sort of a privacy violation. Like, I'm there to engage with my friend. Why are you trying to sell me stuff? Mm-hmm. But that's like one of the growing things in social media, social commerce. But I think there's going to be more and more social media. Like Snapchat is growing, but it's more attractive to the teens, to the younger millennials. It's because I was just talking to baby boomers, and I said, I don't understand why they like it so much. We lost memories. They just erased it now. So I can save it right now. Yeah, so. But I think Facebook is still going to go strong, especially when they're expanding their product line with all the different areas. So I think it's not going to die away as long as for the next few years it's going to be strong. It's where people's going to gain their audience's attention, not attention but awareness, because I was talking about marketing. It's like marketing is not just sales. Marketing is about teaching people, highlighting or like giving them awareness. Say, hey, I'm here. I'm not selling you stuff. I'm just telling you that I'm here. If you want to know more, come see me. That's marketing. It's not about pushing. That's why there's this move on inbound marketing, whereby I give you all the information. I give free information. You like it, you will come to me. So that they use all the social media to push out all those free information. So I think social media is going to be strong.
Hey, Amy, so that's actually, this is Dave. So definition between marketing and brand strategy.
What's the difference?
What's the difference, and is there a difference? Marketing
is actually the umbrella. And so brand strategy is actually in marketing itself. So if you want to talk about brand strategy, then they really have to look at really encompassing all the factors that we learn in marketing, like the 4 Ps and whatnot, the price, promotion, whatever. But the brand itself is the face of the product or the company or the brand. So when it comes to brand strategy, there's more detailed steps you want to take. But marketing in general, like it's just an umbrella. But brand strategy falls under marketing as well. I wouldn't say they are the same, because the techniques that you use to strategize or to market a brand will be different from just, okay, I'm a Walmart, I just sell all the cheap stuff to you or whatever it is.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all good? All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
thanks again, Amy.
Amy,
Appreciate
thank
it so
you.
much.
Stay consistent with your brand message. You brand yourself. If you want to brand yourself as a happy-go-lucky or a reliable whatever, that message itself, be consistent and stay strong.
Perfect. Thanks again, Amy. Love it.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.